Orange County Registered Digital.
Hello and welcome to the OCVarsity Gridiron Show. I'm your host, Jonathan Khamis, being joined by Dan Albano and Steve Fryer. This is our CIF review, CIF Finals review. A lot of games to talk about, guys, and I think the most thrilling game this past weekend was the Southwest Championship between Trabuco Hills and San Clemente. Once again, this game came down to the wire, Steve, in front of a packed house there at San Clemente, 44-37. These two teams combined games, they played each other twice now, was 79 points. How about a rubber match, Steve?
Yeah, 79-79, pretty fun. Maybe they can play flag football at the beach or something like that. It was a great game. The player of the game for me was Jimmy Jacobs, the Trabuco quarterback, who was really good in that 42-35 loss to San Clemente in October in a CVU League game. He was solid again. You know, and everybody will say, well, Jake Breland made those great catches. Hey, he throws the ball where only that big guy, Jake Breland, can make those catches. So that's some fine work there. He's also a good runner for a quarterback, too. He and Sam Darnold, a fantastic show put on by both those guys. It was an outstanding football game. I was really happy to be there.
You mentioned Sam Darnold. Unfortunately, he went down in that game, guys, with a concussion. But, hey, he's going to be playing basketball this season, and he's doing well from what we understand. Guys, another championship to talk about is the Southern Championship. That's Garden Grove versus Rancho Alamitos. And I guess just like the Southwest Championship, guys, this was almost a mirror image in the way that Garden Grove dominated Rancho Alamitos yet again, 35-0. They had 5 rushing touchdowns. The Argos rushed for over 310 yards, 2 by Alex Ceja and 2 by sophomore Joseph Camarillo. Steve, your thoughts coming out of that one?
Well, I think everybody expected Grove to win that championship, and they sure did. And their defense was lights out. And they're fantastic on that side of the football. You know, they're steady and spectacular. Riley Holton with the interceptions, 3 picks. Terrific stuff, man. That guy's a great football player. And Ceja's really good at the quarterback's also really good at safety, too. And the guys up front are nasty, too. That's a good football team. They dominated that game pretty much from kickoff to final bell, man. It was really impressive.
Yeah, Holton had 3 interceptions. And we'll move on now to the West Valley Championship. And we'll talk a little bit about Pac-5 because you were parked at Angel Stadium all night there, Dan. And,
all day and night.
That's right, all day. Because Mission Viejo, they win their first CIF championship, I believe, since 2004. Bob Johnson's 7th, and Mission Viejo kind of dominated here too.
Yeah, and I was a little surprised. I mean, I really thought this was going to be a close game. I picked Mission to win, but I thought it was going to be much closer against Vista Murrieta. Vista Murrieta is a heck of a program. They have a great tradition. They're very well coached, and they got some athletes. But Mission, they turned in a great game on all 3 phases. You know, Brock Johnson played well throwing the game, but they really set up the passing game by Brock by running Rome so well. And he, you know, he just capped off a great postseason. He was tremendous in the playoffs. The defense shut down Vista Murrieta tremendously. I think they only had 6 first downs for the whole game, 3 in each half. They scored on a trick play late, so it was domination by the Mission Viejo defense.
Before we get to St. Margaret's championship run, Dan, you were there for the Pac-5 championship game, the big one, if you will. St. John Bosco looking to repeat, but it's close. But Centennial, the Inland Empire team, comes into the Pac-5 for the first time, and they show they're all business.
Oh, man. I was a little surprised by this one, too. I didn't, you know, Centennial, what a great run. You know, they won a lot of close games. I mean, their playoff run's been spectacular. I mean, with that shootout against Sarah, you know, they beat Mater Dei. They got the revenge on Mater Dei. They survived, you know, the 2-point conversion try by Bishop Amat, and then they upset the defending champions. They have a lot of talented juniors on that team, too. They're going to be the Pac-5 favorite next year. They might be one of the best teams in the state. So Orange County, Trinity League, they got a lot of work to do to try to match that Centennial team because they are so well coached by Coach Logan.
Last game to talk about in the East Valley Division, that was St. Margaret's beating Grace Brethren 34-21. Steve, I know you and I talked a little bit about, hey, we thought Grace Brethren was going to be the team to knock off St. Margaret's for the first time this year, but the Tartans win a CIF championship. That's their first one since 2009. Dan, this was close. The Tartans were down 21-17 in the 4th quarter, but they forced 3 turnovers to score 17 consecutive points to get the victory. You can't get much better than that.
Yeah, Fernando Delgado had 2 of those late interceptions to spark the Tartans run.
St. Margaret's is now in the Division IV semifinals where they will face El Cajon Christian. Now, this is another undefeated team that the Tartans will have to get through here, Steve. This will be at 7:30 Friday night. The Patriots are currently riding, that's El Cajon Christian, they're riding a 20-game win streak, and they won their San Diego Division III final against Hoover 31-9. St. Margaret's, can they keep this run going?
Yeah, I think so. St. Margaret's, that's a really talented football team for that level of ball. They're 14-0, and people go, well, they'd be 14-0. You're beating teams of your ilk, of your level. Man, that's rock solid. That's good stuff. Coach Steve Barbie picked up that team, when Coach Rod Balto got ill. Kept that thing going. They've got some good athletes over there.
Yeah, tradition of winning. Will it continue, Dan?
I think it's going to be tough. I think this is by far the tough. It seems like from my quick analysis, this is the toughest team that they played this season is going to be Christian. Their 20-game winning streak that you mentioned, Jonathan, that's #1 in the state right now, longest active streak. But they have a quarterback, David Jeremiah, who's thrown for almost 2,700 yards, 31 touchdowns, and only 4 interceptions. They got a running back, Adrian Petty, almost 2,000 yards. He has 28 touchdowns. So they got an explosive offense. Their margin of victory is like 35 points. So they're blowing out everybody, and they're down in San Diego. This is going to be really hard for St. Margaret's to advance, in my opinion. All
right, yeah, they average 48 points a game. They only give up 13 points per game, and we'll see if St. Margaret's could advance to that CIF State Bowl Championship game. Our thanks to Dan Albano. Our thanks to Steve Fryer. I'm your host, Jonathan Khamis. Thanks for watching us all year. If St. Margaret's doesn't win, this is our last show, guys. We'll leave it up to them because we really like working with each other. All right, guys. Check out OCVarsity.com for all your latest football information. That's OCVarsity.com, where we've got you covered.
Orange County Register. We are here in the service of Orange County.